On today's episode of the Halloween 365 podcast, Mommies with the Maggots now, as we take a deep dive into Evil Dead Rise.
It's coming. Leave me alone. He doesn't believe it. Don't you know what happens on Halloween? Yeah, we get candy.
Welcome back to the Halloween 365 podcast.
The only podcast where it is horror 24/7 and Halloween 365. You know what, Chad? Welcome you back to the Halloween 365 podcast.
No, it's been a hot minute, dude. I feel like I've just kind of disappeared for a while. I was chasing those pins.
He's stroking them bowling pins.
Yeah, man. Feels weird. Lots happened. You guys have been holding down the fort, so content's still flowing.
Attempting. Yeah, for anybody that, if this is your first episode or you not watched this, I'm Justin. The man before me was Chad, and who's the other guy?
I think it's Jeremy.
He's here. He's here.
Who's that girl?
John
But yeah, we didn't go into detail, and as a matter of fact, I don't think the last episode I didn't even say anything about it, about you not being here. But
dude, I'm guilty. I haven't been contributing to the numbers. I didn't listen to the last episode, so I have no idea what went down.
Oh my god! So we can't go deep into it, but Jeremy and I, there's actually some people that have established that as well. But this last episode is something that we need to do a part 2 to, because we did not manage 100%. Our time correctly, and Jeremy and I were in a straight argument. For the sake of fun, Halloween or Harvest Festival, Chad? Just for the sake of fun.
Probably Halloween.
Don't get me wrong, I love Halloween. All I'm saying is I went with the other and tried to defend a Harvest Festival. And it got so much more to where, dude, it just needs to get revisited. It has to.
It will. I'm not liking that answer, and it will. We got to defend Halloween.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it's been an eventful week for
match.
horror. Handicap match. Yes.
About to be.
It's been an eventful week for horror. As everybody knows, this was Evil Dead weekend, which we're going to be talking about on the show, which I'm extremely excited to go into. And
I forgot to wear my goddamn shirt. Sorry, go on.
It's okay. Take a look in a book.
Yes, I wore it to the theater, but I was going to wear it for this.
I had to wear the closest. This is the closest thing I had. I don't have any Evil Dead merch, unfortunately, which you would think I would, but I don't. I don't know why. Yeah, I need to. But I do have some quick Halloween news if you guys are interested.
I will be interested after I inform everybody that we only have 191 days until Halloween.
Hey, look at that. Man, it's
and
coming.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, this week, since you're listening to this episode right now and it's a Wednesday, when you're listening to this, this week is halfway to Halloween week. This is not our halfway to Halloween episode. Halfway to Halloween episode is going to be coming out Friday. I'm going to say Friday because I'm going to dedicate myself to just edit because I have nothing the fuck else going on.
So you heard it here. That's official. We're locking that in. This is not the
it's locked
halfway
in.
episode.
Trust me.
But it's coming. It's coming. And hopefully,
unless I turn into Cinderella before fucking Friday and somebody comes and gives me $1 million and whisks me off to a castle, then we're locked in for Friday, baby.
Give you a clear Converse slip on your foot.
Yeah, you got a size 12 glass slipper that I can fit on. RuPaul's gonna have to bring me that.
I got a
slipper.
size 12 for someone to fit on. No, okay, I shouldn't go that far. Yeah. Well, anyway, I got some news coming into the pipeline here. Bloody Disgusting has reported that Chucky Season 3 will begin filming next week, premiering late 2023. Those who didn't get a chance to watch the first 2 seasons, you can watch those. I believe they are streaming on Peacock now, if I'm not bad at mistaking. And if you do have the Sci-Fi Channel, you can check them out there too. I didn't get to finish Season 2. Season 1 was awesome. I made it halfway through Season 2. It was good. I have nothing negative to say about it. I just haven't had a chance to go finish it. So hopefully I can do that before Season 3 comes running down the pipeline with a knife. We'll see. Also, some news. Funko has announced a Scream board game. It's apparently a runtime of 20 minutes per game, and there's no synopsis on how this game is going to work out. It's recommended 3 to 8 players, ages 13 up, and it will retail at approximately $19.99. I'm looking at the pieces to the game, and it looks interesting. I think it's going to play like the One Night a Werewolf game. I'm not sure if it was manufactured by Funko, but
what is that? I don't know what the hell that is.
You don't know about that? Oh, okay.
No, I play Risk and shit like that when it comes to
Is it going to be like Clue?
Like Clue.
It's sort of like Clue. It's
like
sort of like Clue. It ain't like Life. It's interesting. So I'm curious to see what Funko's going to do here. But yeah, Ghostface is heading back to Woodsboro, and you'll have to combine your wits to stay alive, it says. So, no release date. I do hope this game comes out before Halloween, so that way I can kind of have it. I would like to play it on Halloween night.
I'm curious how it's going to play. That'll depend on if I buy it. You know what? We should just have like a collection of like horror board games, because why not?
That would be cool. Really cool. There is the Thing board game called Outpost 31. And I've seen it several times at the store. I never buy it. I kind of wish I would have now. If I see it again, I'm picking it up.
I would. If they would give me like an alien invasion Risk, I would be down.
Oh, that would be really cool. That would be really, really cool. How awesome would that be?
That'd be fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Or Area 51 Risk, whatever they want to call it.
So moving right along, there is a new teaser trailer. I don't even know if I would call this a trailer. It's just a teaser. Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire. If you're a fan of those kaiju movies out there, I know I am. The new entry into the MonsterVerse, Lionsgate or Legendary's MonsterVerse, I guess is what we're calling it, not to be confused with Universal's. This latest entry will follow the events of the last film, Godzilla vs. Kong, where the characters will be pit against a fearsome and colossus undiscovered threat hidden within our world. You know what that screams to me?
Mothra.
Hollow Earth. I was just going to say Hollow Earth. Because it's inside our world.
God.
So,
here we go with the Hollow Earth again.
It's Hollow Earth, baby. It's Hollow Earth. It always goes back to Hollow Earth. But yeah, no release date on that yet. I don't believe, at least nothing that I've gathered. March 15th next year. Adam Wingard is coming back to direct, the same director of You're Next.
Oh, I love that movie.
So there we go. Let's get it, Wingard. Let's see what's going on. And that's all the Halloween news I have for the time being. I think it's time to discuss what we all came here to discuss.
Preface, everybody, this is not going to be a full hour episode unless we just get into a full-blown fucking argument.
Yeah, I don't think we will.
But yeah, we wanted to do this one separate than the Halfway to Halloween because Evil Dead got its own reaction from us, and now we owe it to give it the full episode.
Yeah.
So from this point moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, there will be spoilers.
Spoilers. Full on spoilers.
And I don't know about you guys, but I don't like things in my tummy.
Yeah, so if you've not went to the...
Oof. That scene.
That could be more than one way.
Shit.
Yeah, so if you've not went out yet with your buddies or your significant others or your whoever and watched the movie, then you need to stop listening. This episode's not for you, obviously.
Then go watch it.
Yeah, immediately.
Then come back. Then come back here.
Where would you guys like to begin with this? Because
I would like you to start us off since you've not been here.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad Evil Dead's back. I just want to start off by saying that it's been a hot minute since we've had some Evil Dead content. I enjoyed this movie thoroughly, and I'm going to be talking about some stuff on here that some people might not like, but I do feel that this movie it's not as good as 2013's Evil Dead, but it's still good. I'm not taking anything away from this movie. It was fucking awesome, but it still doesn't hold a candle to 2013. in my opinion.
Do you think that they are that far apart?
10 years. So it's been 10 years.
No, I mean, like, do you think that
how
you mean
good
like, this one was compared to 13? You really?
No, I might be being a little too harsh. So these movies were really close together in the sense of like it feels like they could have easily taken place in the same universe. Like this feels like a sequel in a way, in a weird way, sort of. But at the same time, it feels all new. And I think that's what, because we were kind of discussing in our group chat, like there's something about this movie that feels kind of off. And I think that that's what it is, that it's not a sequel and it's not really a reboot. It's its own thing. And it could easily fit as its own movie. And I think that's kind of what feels weird about it. Like it's Evil Dead, unapologetically Evil Dead through and through, but it's fucking weird. Just weird. And I guess there were some things that I was expecting that didn't happen. We didn't really get our Ash cameo. We did, but we didn't.
Yeah.
And
I waited the entire time. I was like, how is this going to be, unless he just like rolls up at the very end like he did in 2013.
Yeah. And I waited. It didn't come. And to say that I'm brokenhearted, well, yeah, but I mean, Bruce has gone out and said several times, I'm done. And I get that. But at the same time, what's the harm in one more cameo? What's the harm? Yeah. Come on. Is it really that bad?
Well, he kind of had a cameo, right? What was it? He was the voice in the background. He
was the voice on the tape. He was actually, and the director said that it is a time displaced Ash.
Okay, so
it's Ash. Yeah. He's just stuck in the 1920s, or whenever the year it was that they found the book on the record. Which makes sense because Ash. He gets around. He may not want to get around, but he gets around.
I'll say that the whole word you were talking about, it's connected, but it's not. It could hold off as its own thing. I like that. I like when they can do an anthology style, right? And so it makes me think it's like, because they said there's going to be more, so it's like in the next one, they could put this on a fucking farm. They were in a high rise this time. Yeah. It's like, imagine that shit in a barn, fucking somebody possessed coming at you with the big, what's that big machine in the Crazies?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
With a
demon on the harvester thing. Yeah,
that'll be some savagery. No, I like this movie. Like I would go as far, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. The only reason it doesn't get that 10 is just because I feel like they slightly pulled some punches in this one. We're coming off of the cusp of a movie that said, let me suck that cock, pretty boy, down to...
and it was his own sister.
And we're coming off of that.
They tried their hand at a couple of lines like that in this one.
They did. They tried.
What was it?
Something about spreading your legs, you groupie slut.
Groupie slut.
Yeah. She kept calling... Well, I mean, I guess that was the extent of it. She didn't really go any further than calling her daughter a slut or calling her sister a slut or...
my favorite part, and this is jumping further ahead in the movie, was the I'll swallow your soul, and then she sniffs her crotch, and then she says, souls? And I was like, oh my God, that is fucking awesome.
That was a letdown in the movie for me. That was a letdown.
Really?
Yeah, not what she said, because that whole part was cool. Because whenever you're looking in the Necronomicon, one of the first things it shows is that chick's stomach getting ripped open.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
And so I was like, okay, foreshadowing, because I knew that the wood chipper was foreshadowing.
Yeah.
And so whenever I saw that in the Necronomicon, I was like, well, then it's got to be like she's going to get her baby ripped out. Like that's what she's about to do. And it didn't happen.
You know what? If they would have gone all the way with that
would have been some next.
That would have made it match.
That would have put it beyond
Like, okay,
2013.
for anybody that's triggered, so let's just say,
Yeah, I'm not trying to trigger.
Warning now, because here's the kind of thing that I was picturing. Because at that point in the movie, we're almost done, and I was sitting there like, okay, this has been cool. I like the fact that it's OG horror, like we're used to. It's not A24.
Yeah,
I'm liking that they threw in funny parts because that's Evil Dead. The whole ripping the eyeball out and spitting it into his brother's throat and him choking on it. Okay, cool. That's Evil Dead.
100% Evil Dead 2. Right
yeah.
there.
As soon as I saw that and I heard some people like, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But that's part of the movie. If you've never seen them, then you need to know that's it. But I was sitting there and I was like, okay, this is their chance right now to make this better than 2013. Like, you need something big time. Yeah. And I was like, okay, she's going to reach in there and pull the baby out. And I was like, in my head, I was like, even that wouldn't be enough. I don't think. I think she'd had to have done something with the baby, you know, like
like the umbilical cord.
I mean, or like bite the umbilical cord in half and she starts like ripping or like taking those big scissors to the baby or something. I mean, whatever.
What if she like just straight up fucking eats the baby?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's like where the baby comes out fucking possessed.
Yeah.
That would have been some next level shit.
Yeah, that would have been another part of it. Can you imagine the monster at the very end with like a baby that is mounted on top of everything?
That would have been brutal because they even sort of foreshadowed it.
Yeah, because then it would be all
cutting the head off the doll.
Her niece, her nephew, her sister, and her unborn child hanging on top of like all into that block. That would have been perfect. Brutal. But I guess that's a line that they wouldn't have wanted to cross.
It's a bit far. I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
it is a bit. It's funny, just real quick, not straying away from anything, but it's funny that gets brought up because before I went and watched The Evil Dead, I watched the movie called Mother with Javier. I can't remember his name. Jennifer Lawrence, Javier Bardem, or you know what I'm talking about.
That movie's really good, but it'll fuck your brain up. It fucked my mind up, dude. It fucked my mind up.
There's a baby eating scene in the movie, Chad, and it. Like the whole movie, it gave me anxiety. The whole fucking movie.
No, the whole movie will because let's not stray too far because that's a whole other fucking movie.
I was gonna say if you haven't seen it, check it out.
I haven't seen it.
I just want to say that the Mother movie that Jeremy's talking about, the whole fucking movie will have you start questioning your fucking sanity. You don't know where you're at. You don't know what time is going on. Shit starts flipping, warping. There's people outside, then there's not people outside. The house is brand new, then the house is fucking old, and then you don't. I mean, it's a fucking mind fuck the entire movie.
Same director as Black Swan and Requiem of Dream. So y'all like? Yeah, it's one of those.
That's movies. The same guy that did The Whale.
Yes. Oh, is it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. So.
I would never watch this again, but it's anyway, I didn't mean to stray too far.
No, it's a form of horror. That movie is.
It really is. I will say, like, you know, we're talking about fucked up scenes, though. Something that I have had nightmares about was put into the Evil Dead.
No shit.
And I've had dreams to where somehow I have chewed glass and it's in my mouth and I'm trying to get it out before I can swallow it. Yeah. Like, so I don't. And then seeing that, and then it cuts the girl swallowing glass and you see it cut through the throat. Oh, I was like, oh, motherfucker. That was my favorite gore scene in the entire movie.
Okay, it's so what's your favorite gory scene in the movie, Chad?
Well, it's so I guess I would probably have to say the head on the stick when it goes through that was pretty savage because I didn't see that coming. No, and I was like, damn, okay, that's one way to fucking do it.
I was slightly expecting more. The glass scene was cool. With that,
and her whole line at the end of the glass thing too. It's like, I don't like things in my tummy, Auntie Beth. Do you? And then it's like she knows. She's like, oh yeah. So now they're coming. That's
Which that was ruined for me in theater too, by the way, because all of a sudden you hear people going, she don't like things in her tummy. I mean, I know I made the joke at the very top of this episode, but
I know.
I'm not going to do it in the middle of the fucking theater while you're trying to watch.
Yeah, it's different.
But just real quick.
Wait. Go ahead. I was going to say that my favorite gore scene, because we stray a lot, my favorite gore scene on that same topic is the right off the bat. It was the scalp.
That was good. Yeah,
It was good.
No, it was good. It was,
and I even liked that they let her walk around like she's dying. She's going, like, and her whole fucking brain's showing, and I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
That's why, Chad, that whenever you asked us how it was, that's why my reply in the chat was that I thought that they blew their load at the very beginning.
I could see that.
Yeah, so,
because I was wanting it to be better than 2013, right? And so I was looking for something to make it better. And the glass was super cool. The scissors was neat. But I like the scalpel.
There's one specific scene in the movie, and maybe this is just the movie nerd in me coming out, the camera guy nerd. It's right when they lock her outside of the house. They do this whole sequence through the peephole in the door, and you just see this event of shit going down the hallway, and the gun.
Super cool the way they shot that.
Yeah, dude. The you just see the shotgun blast.
The
boom,
shotgun
flying
scene
down,
especially was cool.
Yeah,
it was all awesome, and I was geeking out so hard. Like, it was in that moment that I was like, "This is it." Like, this is. I thought this movie is going to top everything that's come before it, and I was wrong. It's like again, I'm not trying to discredit the movie. It was great, but
it just feels like it. After that, it kind of goes slow. After that,
yeah. And, so let's state that we all think that this movie's not a bad movie. We're telling you
it's fucking great.
Yeah.
9 out of 10. Go see it. Yeah.
I give it 8.5, but.
We're just gonna break it down and give honest opinions about shit. Like Jeremy was saying, it got slow right after that.
Yeah, I feel like I don't think the scalping. I mean, opening up with the scalping scene, like that automatically makes you like shit's gonna be fucking wild, and then the dude's getting drug underwater, which that's something that scared me too. It's like that's a fear of mine.
Minus the scalping thing, no, including that whole opening scene reminded me of Cabin Fever.
Yeah.
So let me ask. Because again, I got to go back and watch it. That's why I'm going back next weekend. But was she just like tearing at his body when he was getting pulled under? Because it was like it was all happening so fast I couldn't pay attention.
I don't know. I'm assuming. I'm assuming she just ripped him to shreds. Well, she ripped his head off.
Yeah. The head got thrown
I forgot. Yeah, tossed it back. Yeah.
But see, that's another issue that I've got. There was a couple times that they just kind of copped out. Like, they had chances. You had the characters in place where you could have made some really cool kills. And you kind of copped out on that. Like, dude got shredded underwater. We didn't see that. Not like we should have. I didn't really know what the fuck happened, and then his head got thrown on the pier, and I was like, okay, I guess that she just ripped him apart. And I was like, okay, I'll just let that pass. And then we got to the hallway scene, which was shot beautifully, like Chad said. Yeah, but it was they just took out half the fucking people that they had to kill in that one scene.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you mentioned that. So, in my head, what I'm thinking, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to cut you guys off.
No, you're good. You're good. I wanted that response.
In my head, the whole time I'm watching that sequence, I'm like, this is like the cellar in Evil Dead, but we're getting to see it. That peephole is our peek into the cellar that we never got to see.
Yeah.
And now we're going to get to see what the fuck is going on in there. And they blew it. They didn't execute it right.
Yeah.
They didn't execute it.
It was like, I'm geeking like Chad. I absolutely loved the way that it was shot.
Yeah. Oh no. Awesome.
I don't like fisheye lenses. I don't like that magnified shit. I don't like peephole shots really, except for the cable guy peephole shot. But the way that they had it sped up, it was almost like we got a quick time lapse while everybody else.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool. Yeah,
because all of a sudden you see the little kid hit the fucking wall, and then you see here comes the dude with the shotgun, and then he disappears, and you see a flash, and then here she comes running across the fucking. It was cool.
Yeah.
But
and the only thing that would have made that scene more cool is like if it, she disappeared for a while, right, and then we just the camera just holds. And then she just slides up in front of the door. And then she just does the open up now. That's what they should have done. and they didn't do it,
Well,
and
I mean,
I'm upset about that.
She can crawl up fucking walls. Why didn't they do a
Yeah.
shot where she's coming down?
I know.
from the peephole?
That's,
There's
that would have
multiple
been
things they could've done
so
with it.
cool.
That would have been fucking neat. Like, hey guys, I think she's gone, and then she comes fucking down.
You see,
Yeah.
her,
And
you see the
you hear
hair
the-
start to dangle, and then you see
Yeah, you hear the crack in the
Yeah. Oh, that would have been awesome.
inside of the that would have been fucking neat.
Well,
We
see,
can pick it apart, but it's just
yeah,
that
no, it's
I was going into it hoping that it was better than the one before it, and I think that was where my disconnect was.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what it was.
We set ourselves up for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, we did. Just the same as I set myself up for not the most recent Scream, but the Scream before that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's exactly the same kind of feeling I got. But I didn't get.
Oh, and Halloween ends. Halloween ends. Oh my god.
No, yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Don't
I'll set
fucking
myself
soul
up
crushing.
big.
Fucking soul crushing.
But but that's the thing. This isn't
I know,
soul
I know,
crushing
I know,
like
I know.
that. One thing that I was talking to about a buddy of mine that's seen it, and I think me and you might have even brought this up, Justin, over the mic one night. You know, so the main daughter, she gets stabbed by the tattoo gun,
Yeah.
and then that's when she got cut open by
She
the
got
demon, so it's
infected.
starting to get infected. Okay, the son stabbed, got infected. The aunt was the cheese grater, and it
Yeah.
made blood
got
show
fucking-
in it.
She got fucking cheese grated, and she got stabbed.
Yeah, and she has another soul in her too. So, and you see that in the book. So it's like, how come she didn't get infected?
Or how come it didn't? How come there wasn't Bride of Chucky? You know.
Oh,
Like-
out the stomach. Yeah,
I think it's because the cheese
Imagine
grater
that
didn't
as
have
last
any
thing.
deadite blood on it, right? Like I think it had to have some form of deadite blood on
Right,
it to
right.
actually.
Well, did the tattoo gun though?
Yeah, she stabbed it into her head first, and then she
yep,
went.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
I
yeah, and
think-
he
I
got
think that
blood
was it.
puked into his mouth. The boy.
That
Yeah,
would have been
so-
an even cooler. Like if she had gotten infected and we didn't know, and then she kills the monster at the end, and then they're in the car driving away, and then all of a sudden her fucking stomach bursts open because the baby's been possessed.
That would have been. That would have taken this right to a 10. That would have taken it to a 10.
And then
That-
all of a sudden, fast forward to that
One
girl
day
finding.
later.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, so that's part
cool.
of what, because after I seen all that happen in the garage, and I'm like, so they're going to walk off and it's a fucking happily ever after. So I was starting to get bummed. And then I see the girl, and you realize it's the girl from the cabin. She's talking about at the opening scene.
She's
How
braiding her
all
hair.
that tied together, that
Yeah.
was probably my favorite part of the movie. I was like, that's
Yeah, but isn't that sad though?
What?
That was your favorite part that they
how it all
tied.
tied together? Well,
No, that they
I mean,
tied the beginning, which had one of the best gore scenes. They tied it into the movie. It's almost like, let me explain it this way. To me, it was almost like, here's what could have been possibly a better movie, but we're gonna jump back to the other movie, and then at the very end, here's that movie that could have been maybe better.
No, I won't look at it like that just because what we got was still fucking incredible. And
No, it
it's
was
like
great.
it's still a backstory to that. It's like things like that, like the whole entire movie could have been better than that alone. And you guys might think so, like there were better scenes. Hell, if I think about it, there probably were. But just to me and the kind of person I am, the tie-ins like that when you're not expecting it, like it just gives me a feeling where I'm like, oh shit, I'm Leonardo DiCaprio going, hey, whistling at the screen, like, yeah. I don't know, just it might not even be that big of a relevancy, but something about that in movies I just love. Like, yeah,
It was cool that they kind of tied it all back together, and to me that just echoes that we're not done. This franchise isn't done. It's just
Exactly.
getting started, and I don't know what they're gonna do. But I mean, me and you have talked about this a little bit, Germ. How like I gave my pitch to what I think would be a really cool way to wrap the franchise up, but I doubt that that's the path they're gonna take. Mia's story is not done, in my opinion. They left her kind of just, wandering the streets. There was supposed to be a scene that they deleted. I actually don't know if it exists out there or not, but there was a scene where she was walking the streets, and Bruce Campbell is supposed to pick her up inside of the truck.
Yeah, that's a special feature on the DVD.
Yep.
Is it?
I've got it on the DVD.
Yeah, it's
I've
on the
yet to
DVD.
see it. I need to see it.
If you get the DVD and you just watch it, it makes it so much better because you're like, there he fucking is, and she's covered in blood, and he's like,
And it's weird too because it's like she's away, but when she turns to look at him, her eyes are crazy looking again. And so it's like, well, what the fuck happened there? And like,
well, she's got all that goddamn blood. It went in her fucking eyes and everything.
Her arms cut off. It's she's infected,
bathing in the fucking blood.
Yeah,
So are we going to get something where it shows Ash killing her?
Well, this is what I was thinking. I was thinking maybe what if Mia is going to the cabin that we see at the end of Evil Dead Rise, merging the two volumes of the book, because that's something that they mentioned. There's 3 books. There's 3 volumes of books.
Is that cabin in any of the other Evil Dead movies?
The one from Rise? Not that I'm aware of. I mean, it's just...
2013 was Ash's cabin, right?
So
yeah, that was the Nobi cabin.
As somebody that likes to write screenplays, you've directed, you've done different things like that, Chad, tell me if this is weird then. If that cabin that they showed in the very beginning has never been in any other Evil Dead, and it was just supposed to be some one-off thing to get the movie started.
Yeah.
They've got to use it again because they put way too much effort on that set design. The cabin was extremely detailed, and the trees around it, like they were twisted, like they made it. I
noticed that too.
They put a lot of effort into how it looked.
The set design. Yeah, exactly. No, I agree. So I don't think it's... I think so too. I think that cabin's coming back one way or the other.
It was cool looking. I liked it. It looked ominous.
Yeah.
The hills looked like it was raising up on each side, like it was in a valley, and
I might be wrong with this. It could just be, I guess, because I ain't saying it looks exactly like it, but with the way that the lake looked and the trees surrounding it, how everything was, it reminded me of like Bart Camp Lake or something like that around this area. Just the way it's all surrounding, and or maybe like High Knob Lake or whatever. But it's like something that you would go up here in one of these mountains and just find a lake out there, and that's why I liked so much.
The lake is what made me think so much that it reminded me of Cabin Fever, because whenever dude and the girl are out there laying on that there's swimming or whatever, and they're out there, the floating dock part.
Yeah, I think that if you do another movie, I'm sure they said they want to do one every 2 to 3 years now instead of every 10 years. That cabin's got to come back.
They put way too much detail into it for it to not.
And to me, it's a no-brainer that Mia has to come back to some degree. I don't know. Jane Levy's she's not that old, is she? She's older.
Mm-hmm.
So she could come back still.
Yeah.
And, I mean, Bruce's story or Ash's story is kind of wrapped up, I guess. I don't really know. They kind of left us on a fucking cliffhanger at the end of Ash versus Evil Dead, but I don't know. I don't really know how we could tie it back together.
Now you got me wondering if they're not counting that Bruce Ash picking up Mia is canon. Yeah. Then it's got me wondering if 2013 really was just strictly kind of a reboot, because I know we talked about
Bruce playing Ash when he picked her up, or was he just?
Yeah,
that's a good question. Was it Ash?
I didn't think
he had Ash's blue shirt on.
He was in the truck.
Yeah, and he even goes groovy. Like,
he does.
Yeah,
it's Ash,
but he didn't have a chainsaw hand.
No, but at the show though, he ends up going to like.
Maybe it's a different Ash.
I'll have to go back. I've got the DVD.
I'm almost positive he had both arms. I think
the thing with Evil Dead. The thing with Evil Dead that a lot of people forget is, time travel, alternate dimensions, all that stuff. It's all viable. It's all there. It's not your typical zombie or demon movie. It's deeper rooted than that. We've gone to the past. We've gone to the future. We've seen everything in between. In the show, we go to the fucking ghost realm. Like, so, it's nuts.
Back to Roz.
Well, what
I know, right?
This will tie in with Roz real quick. What I was going to say is, Chad, me and you were talking, and then so if 2013 was a reboot because you said, well, what if? Because they mentioned in Rise that there's 3 books of the dead.
Yeah, 3 volumes.
We've seen one of them in 2013, one of them now. But you mentioned you was like, well, what if the '70s, late '70s, early '80s version movie is the third book?
That to me, that's book 3.
No, but wait.
So if they don't go that route, then this opens the door for a third book. Sorry.
Yeah. So how is this gonna? Have they said what officially is going to tie in? Because they could be pulling a John Carpenter and just this is going to be boom, 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 1, 2, 3. They're going to do 3 movies and it's the whole new universe. I mean, like they could say 2013 movie didn't happen, and then this would be the first one. Then there's a second, and then there's going to be a third.
People like that one too much.
I know that they did. I'm just saying, like they could very well do that. But if not, then as Chad said, 2013 was book 1. I don't think that they're gonna make more movies. So I think that they're gonna want to leave book 3 just empty. I don't think it's gonna be the old Evil Dead.
I would because I like how it ties in. I would like to think that you could tie all 3 of those in. Why not? But at the same
I think that they would want
time,
to make a new story for the third.
I think that's what they're going to do, and I'm not going to be upset with that either. I would love to see Ash.
You can't be because, as Chad said, they hop dimensions in the fucking
It's
the universe is spread wide open.
Those books could have ended up anywhere.
Yeah, at this point, Evil Dead universe is like DC universe. You don't know what the fuck's going on. You don't know what the fuck's happening.
What if the third book? And this would be a good way to give you more movies too. Like, what if the third book it goes back to like fucking 1600s or something like that, and it's that time period with this shit.
Could be interesting.
Yeah, and then it gets buried, and then all of a sudden, like years later in the future, somebody's digging it up, and
okay.
So I mean, that's kind of Army of Darkness in a sense, because the Castle Kundar or whatever the fuck they were at.
Yeah,
that's where Dr. Nobi found the book, was in the castle.
Can I just say that you guys remember the Vine scene?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was about the
cable
where the girl was getting R-worded. Exactly. Yeah. I thought for sure. I was like, I mean, I know the reaction it would have gotten, but my reaction would have been completely different. I would have went, "Holy shit!" As bad as that
it would have been brutal.
As bad as that is, not because of what would have been happening to her, just because it would have been a callback. It would have been a big time callback.
I think they hinted at it.
That's what I was going to say.
I was waiting.
They just didn't.
I was waiting for another cable to. Whoa.
Yeah. You know what's? I hate to say this. I hate to even make this joke because it's awful, and maybe I shouldn't. It's a joke from Ash versus Evil Dead. When his sister comes back, he says, "Holy shit! I haven't seen you since you got banged by that tree." And I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ!"
See, exactly. No. Okay, so wait, let's go. I want to go through some stuff because this is true spoilers. There's some people. I'm sure that we've got people out there that don't like a lot of gore. So let's give them a rundown, real quick of shit that what happened in the movie. We've already mentioned the glass scene where.
Do we mention Chief Grader?
Let's mention. Yeah. So. The scalp is at the very beginning.
We should mention it, in the order.
Yeah, let's start from the top. So the scalp is going to be right off the fucking bat. Not right off the fucking bat, but it's pretty fucking close.
Yeah, and it's a full-on scalping scene, people. You see it get ripped. It's
yeah,
and there's what's her name? It's not Stephanie. It's Staffany. The staff that goes through the mouth
Daphne.
Through the back of the head. That's not people seen that in movies.
That's good. By the way, that's real good fucking parenting. Your kid's just closed in her room with those huge fucking shears. Looked like goddamn hedge clippers, and she's just, I'm making Staffany.
Yeah, and the fire scene was really cool, where they just lit. Was it Danny got lit on fire?
Yeah.
Well, Danny gets fucked up. Danny gets fucked up.
The daughter got lit on fire.
Yeah.
And now Danny, he's the one, he got puked all over and then stabbed by his sister.
I will say this too, and I'm sorry. One of the cooler scenes in the movie was the record player, where she puts her fingernail on the thing and it starts playing.
Out of her mouth? Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I was waiting for that. As soon as she put her fingernail down on it, I was like, okay, now open your mouth, because that's exactly what I was thinking was getting ready to happen.
Yeah. That was cool.
A scene that we have not mentioned, none of us have actually, that I thought was neat.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a horror buff, it completely slipped my mind. And it's what they were banking on. They set it up that way. That's what they wanted. And I was just curious if it had slipped your mind too, which was the cat in the vent.
Yeah.
And how you kind of forget,
mm-hmm.
and then it comes back, and then you see the cat again. And you're like, oh, fuck, she can get in the vent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
it's like I completely.
Realizes,
Well, I thought we were going to get a Drag Me to Hell throwback.
Yeah.
For a split second, I was like, oh, we're getting a Drag Me to Hell reference. That's really cool. And we didn't. Because one of my favorite scenes in that movie is, keep your stupid cat, you whore. And then he pukes it back up. That's Evil Dead as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And why that didn't happen is beyond me. The weirdest thing in this movie, and this is the thing that 100% caught me off guard, because I was like, okay, they've never done this before. And I was unaware the Deadites were even capable of doing this, was fucking becoming an abomination and transforming and melding into each other. That was a what the fuck moment for me. And to me, if they didn't put that scene in here, it would have ranked lower.
When I seen it, I was gonna say when I seen it, I was like, this could go bad or good. But then once they're all formed together and they're crawling, I was like, okay, it's fucking
all
good.
Practical effects.
Yeah.
No CGI, baby.
Good.
Yeah.
I did not like it.
And that's fair. That is completely fair because it is so weird.
I can't remember. There is something, whether it be game or movie, that all three of us have played where I have seen something fucking like this, and I couldn't put my...
I couldn't.
It's in Fallout. It's in Fallout.
Is it?
Those fucking things that come out of the water, and they're like, oh, it's in Fallout.
Oh, with the arms. Yeah. And their skin looks like it's all melted.
It's
and
in Fallout.
Yeah, for damn sure. That's why I was sitting there and I was like, man, this looks like something I've seen. And I didn't, like, you guys know I hate cheesy. Like, anybody that's listening to the podcast, I don't like that cheesy shit. I've gave Chad so much, and Jeremy too, so much shit over the cheesy movies and stuff, which makes it funny that I'm even a fan of Evil Dead. But
it's the right amount.
Well, I'm not even going to say that because I still don't like cheesy. But I accept Evil Dead for what it is, and I like Evil Dead as
well, they were the first to do it.
Right, exactly. So they know how to do it in a way that, because they're not just, it's not just, hey, I'm going to make a wisecrack. There's still horror. Like it's horror to back it up. They amp up the gore in those funny scenes so that you can laugh and then go, because that's exactly what happened in the theater. Yeah. You go, ha ha ha, ah! That's the reaction that you fucking
Which still goes back to, let me suck that cock, pretty boy. It's like, what the fuck did she just say? But it's still staying scary.
Yeah,
so you're like,
oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go, oh, and then,
It's like, this basement's looking really tempting right now.
So, yeah, good movie. Wait, one thing. Before we get close to the end, which we probably should have already. I'm sorry, boys.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Really. It's just a good movie. It was good. It was fun to talk about.
Our experiences in the theater. We wanted to talk about that.
That's what I was going to say. And I'm going to go ahead and just say this, people. If you're listening to this, be kind. I think Justin had a good point. There's a generation of people coming in who had to watch movies at home because of the pandemic. This isn't Netflix. Don't talk through it. Don't talk through the movie.
Fucking theater etiquette.
Before we all start talking shit about these people that fucked up our movie experience, I want to say that for everybody out there that is around our age that's used to going to the theaters and really enjoying the movie, and you accept gasps, you accept screams because that's part of the movie. You accept cheers and shit, clapping. That's part of the movie experience. But as I told Jeremy that night after we came out of the theater, 2020 happened. Everybody was on lockdown. And there's an age group, just as an example, let's say 13-year-olds whenever 2020 happened. And then they spent 3 years where they really didn't have to go to the fucking movies. Why would you? So you get used to being able to sit on your couch and talk openly the entire time like you would if you're at home. And so whenever you finally go to the theater and you're 16, 2023, and you're getting to go on your own, you're going on your dates for the first time and shit, you don't think about any of that shit. But please shut the fuck up in the goddamn theater.
Yeah, no, seriously. I had people using text to talk in my theater. really interesting. One gentleman got up and walked out of the movie, and I have a feeling it had something to do with the fact that the kids were unsafe and they died in the film, because the only thing I heard, and this is like directly to my left, was he said, "I'm not doing this," and then he got up and walked out. It was an older gentleman, and I was like, didn't expect that, but it happened.
You'd think that if that did the older gentleman not watch the 70s Evil Dead?
I guess not. I'm
like that should have prepared you for.
They were kids in that movie.
I was going to say though,
they were teenagers.
yeah, I guess they were, but back then they kind of looked a little different. But those are teenagers, and today's teenagers don't. They look younger than what they are. A lot of them do.
Like House of Demons should have fucking prepared you for.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Well,
I just thought it was weird.
Yeah. For us, Jeremy, what happened?
Oh, so yeah, the teenagers, man, they were talking throughout the whole damn movie, and there was a mom, and I don't know if she just didn't have a babysitter or what, but she brought her kids in. There was 3 kids. The 2 oldest ones got up and left because they got scared. But I'm proud.
Set the scene. The mom with the kids is down in front.
She's in front of us, down in front. We're in the middle. And
the teenagers that are on their dates are top left corner of the back of the theater. They got in the very back corner.
Yeah. And so every time there was a scary scene, I was wondering, I was like, damn, they got good speakers in here, because you'd hear a loud scream like that. Kind of find out it was that little girl, but she stayed throughout the whole movie, so it's like, good kudos. For her, good for you. But it came to a point to,
they talked the whole motherfucking thing, and it's either that they weren't interested because it was just a date, or they were scared, and talking through the entire movie was keeping them from, because whenever they came in, the first thing that they said whenever they sat down was, "Oh my God, guys, I'm so scared." That was the first words that came out of their fucking mouth. And as soon as they said it, I went, "Oh God, this is going to be fucking horrible."
But see, even they had the fucking gall to say, "Who's screaming every 6 minutes?"
Yeah. Those teenagers said, "Who's screaming every 6 minutes?" And I said, "I'd rather that than somebody talking through the whole movie."
Yeah. Which is ridiculous. You're supposed to get screams like that. And especially if you know there's a kid in there, then you're going to hear a scream.
I invite the screams. Let that happen.
Yeah, let it happen. I was cool with it. I didn't have I didn't have an issue with that. So fuck the teenagers. Kudos to the little girl for sticking it out through the whole movie.
It's just
that's awesome.
Like talking through dialogue, dude. When the whole fucking movie's quiet, there's no music or nothing, and you're trying to listen to dialogue to get a fucking backstory, and you hear people having a conversation behind you. Fine. It's a good movie though.
Do y'all want to know the numbers that are done?
I was going to ask you, what are we looking at? What's the projection for opening weekend?
So, of course, nothing is beating Mario. Mario is it's number one. It's number one. And there's a few other movies in this top 5. So let me just ask you guys. Mario's number 1. There were some other movies out. What number do you think Evil Dead plays?
Has to be number 2.
It's 3.
Is it 3?
It is.
I'm guessing.
2. It is number 2?
Yes, number
Fuck
2.
Yes. Fuck yes. Good for
of course.
I thought that what's his face? Oh wait, it's not out yet, is it?
There's a few different movies.
What's
out.
his face is scared? Bo is scared, or Bo's afraid?
Scared.
Oh.
Bo's afraid.
Yeah.
It's not came out yet, though, is it?
I think it's playing in like some art house joints or some shit, but I won't be seeing it. So
good.
You know, Mario, Evil Dead, and then there's that Jake Gyllenhaal war movie. That just came out. Yeah, so I mean, there was a couple different ones, but the Evil Dead placed number 2, which makes me think if Mario wouldn't have came out, it would have been number 1.
It would have been number 1.
Opened to so far, because it's still Sunday. So far, they're looking at what they think is 23 million from 3,402 theaters, and this is just in the United States.
Let's see what the budget of this film was. If they made their money back, we're getting a sequel.
They did. So the budget was 15 million.
Oh, we're getting a sequel.
Yeah.
We're getting a sequel.
They exceeded it. Overseas, it scared up to 16.8 million from 58 markets for a global start of 40.3 million.
So opening weekend, it got
globally
got 40.1 million.
40.3.
40.3.
Yes. So they definitely made their money back.
Not bad for a horror movie.
That's great for a horror movie.
Like Halloween, didn't it do better though?
Halloween did really well, I think.
Scream did too. Fuck sticks.
Scream did phenomenal.
Yeah. Take it like so. The best way to look at that
2-hour episode if we did that.
Well, just real quick, the best way that I think to take it into that with Halloween and Scream, they've been remade and they're newer, so you're expecting them to make the money that they did. But for Evil Dead to really not be rebooted until 2013 and then take a 10-year break and then come back and do this, I think that it done well more than what it should have for just a horror movie.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just gonna say one last thing. I still don't think anything will ever top the opening of Evil Dead 2013.
Oh,
that was so good.
There's people clapping, cheering.
It
was
so good. Probably one of my favorite movie going experiences of all time. But
same.
Evil Dead Rise, you did a good job. You did good, kid.
It was good.
You did good. You did good, kid. It looks like we are going to wrap this episode up. And keep your ears open out there. Keep your eyes peeled.
Yeah.
Keep them in your fucking skull and not spat into somebody's mouth.
Yeah.
For our halfway to Halloween episode, which is coming when?
Friday, baby.
Friday.
I ain't got shit to do.
That's correct. All right, everybody.
That's right. So happy halfway to Halloween, everybody out there. Thank you for listening.
Keep it spooky out there. Oh God, don't chew that glass. Ugh.